Hey, it's Dana Peever, the Decision Smith. How are you today? We're back with episode 10 of our Decision Smith show in this 2-week series that I'm coming to you with. And today we have a new topic. We're going to talk about when no decision is a decision. So I'm sure you can all relate to that or know someone who has been paralyzed with making a decision and has just put it off and put it off and has wound up not making a decision at all. And there's so many consequences around that we'll dive into over the next 3 days. But what I really wanted to talk to you about today was an example of when I witnessed that happen with a client of mine. This is years ago, and this person was a very prominent online coach that people really looked up to. And I respected them greatly, still do, still does great work. But this happened to be a decision that they were making in their personal lives. And sometimes it's really easy for us to be able to make decisions from a professional perspective. It's black and white, cut and dry. There's not a lot of emotion always associated with making, professional decisions, if we want to call it that. But when it comes to your personal life, that's when I see so much more hesitation, so much more stalling, so many more tactics used to, kind of either ostrich and put your head in the sand or dig your heels in that you're probably not even aware of. So I remember preparing this client for our conversation, and whenever I work with clients, I always have them sign my decision-making agreement. And that really calls out that they're willing to dig deep and answer the questions that are asked of them. They're willing to look at their situation, from all aspects. They're willing to be really and truly honest with themselves. And, I know that is typically working as we go through the process, because people typically experience aha moments, they have little epiphanies. It's not uncommon actually for people to cry during our one-on-one sessions, just because, they're digging deep to places they've either buried or didn't know existed or, never tapped into before. And sometimes it can be a pretty overwhelming experience to really look at all of these emotions that you're feeling. So back to this particular person that I was working with, they were in a relationship that wasn't serving them to the level or degree that they probably felt they deserved. And they came to me expressing the need to make a decision about how they would move forward. And as they, described the situation for me, and answered all my questions, I could sense that this wasn't necessarily a healthy position for them to be in. And I knew they wanted to move forward. But when it came right down to, walking through the whole process, the whole system, looking at your factors, weighing those factors in terms of how important they are to you now, and then looking at the options and how choosing each option would affect the factors that you'd identified. I knew at that point that they were not ready to make a decision, even though they had said they were and had come to me and they wanted to make a decision. I could tell by the spectrum that they were using that they were not ready. So in essence, that person had really decided to not make a decision, and that was their decision. They chose to stay where they were and not make any changes or any adjustments. And, that really goes back to one of the exercises in my Year of You challenge, where I have you dissect what you're actually tolerating in your life. So, when people are stuck in that indecision, that's one of the things I have them go back and do, just to make sure that they know that by not making a decision, this is what they're continuing to accept and to tolerate in their lives. So, sometimes when you're faced with a decision, I really want you to take a look at what you're tolerating by staying where you are and not making changes. And tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about what it looks like to be in the right mindset, to make an actual decision, and what the impact of not making a decision really looks like for you on your health and your psyche and everything associated with decision making. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.